I'm doing a giveaway. Stick around to the end of the video to find out how you can enter to win. What is up, everybody? I'm NoLuxGiven, and today I wanted to talk about good synergies in Storybook Brawl, and I specifically mean synergies between good units. Now, I've said this a bunch of times, Snow Angel doesn't really need good units to function. We're picking up a Black Cat here, and then we are locking onto a Mad Mim. You can definitely get away with this in most games, in most scenarios. However, Snow Angel is going to give you good units throughout the game, and sometimes you might have to work a little bit to make those units work with each other. So it's definitely still worth looking at those potential synergies and understanding them, especially now that Snow Angel is a good hero. It didn't really matter before when Snow Angel wasn't as playable, but now that it is, it makes a lot more sense to actually pay attention to these things. And this might be something that I haven't really discussed on the channel super recently, and some of you just might not know how to build a board with Fairy Godmother, for instance, and all of the different things that she can do. So that's what we are going to be taking a look at in this video. I call her Fairy Godmother because she has all of those good synergies for the good comps. And I think that we are off to a pretty good start here. Not going to lock on to anything in this one, and we'll just be happy to pick up our free tier 3 unit in this case. Yeah, Mad Mim plus Black Cat just being a really strong combination in the early game. And now we get to add a Princess Peep to the shenanigans. Princess Peep, kind of an interesting one because she definitely has the most synergy with Mad Mim at the beginning of the game, more so than any other card. Potentially the Good Witch, though. I would definitely say Mad Mim is the chief among those options. We're going to pick up a Mummy and a Cinderella, and not cast the Falling Stars because it would kill absolutely every one of our units here. So definitely don't want to do that, but just picking up Mummy, adding that to the board because it's the strongest character in the shop, and then picking up Cindy to potentially build into that tier 2 treasure coming up in the future. We're going to do really well for ourselves in this combat, getting the full 5 summons, or full 4 summons out of our 2 units, and getting a win there with that. So pretty good. You can see we got a little bit lucky to win that one on a 41%er. From there, I'm gonna buy some XP. Pretty straightforward. Playing Snow Angel, XP is very, very good because it also contributes to your board presence. We're gonna get a free tier 4 unit next turn, and then we'll be able to pick up maybe 1 or 2 more tier 4 units, which is a pretty good start to the game, I would say. So definitely doing good. 40 health against the rest of the lobby. We are the only undefeated player, and APOC has a little bit more health than us, but Snow Angel hero power already coming in clutch with the Princess Peep that was really strong for us and carried us last combat, and it's just going to get additionally powerful. This Wonder Waddle has an absolutely crazy board though, with a bunch of mummies and Sark and a pair of Black Cats as well, so they are going to destroy us with that one, unfortunately. And here you can see we've got the Fairy Godmothers, and the reason that I specifically pick up the Fairy Godmothers here is partially because of that Princess Peep. The synergy with Godmother and Princess Peep is just really, really strong, especially at this stage of the game, technically 3.2, but Peep will die, all of the sheep will come out as 1/2s, or 1/3s rather, which isn't super strong, but when each of those sheep die, they're also going to give additional stats to the Godmothers then, and because we have 2 Godmothers actually, they're going to come out as 1/5s, but the important thing is that they are pumping up the Godmothers in the backline, giving them a bunch of health, and there's some other synergies that we can make work with that. The main one on level 4 is going to be, well, other than just being really strong, creating a bunch of 416s right here is just good and is actually going to be enough to even let me battle with my opponent's full ranged backline. It's definitely easy to underestimate just how much stats this is, but it is a bunch of stats, and we are going to walk away with a tie there. And from there, we are going to upgrade the Fairy Godmother, and Ring of Rage is exactly what this comp is looking for. It's going to pump up our ranged unit, our Black Cat, our Peep, all of those tokens. It's going to give some health to the Godmother, which is good, or I'm sorry, some attack to the Godmother, which is good because it already has way too much health. And then I will pick up another tree as well, mostly just because it's a large, good unit. We could take Donkey from here. One thing that I am really looking to pick up, I think I cut myself off from saying this a few moments ago, is, and I'll cut myself off again to say that Ring of Rage also working well with the mummies, of course, that we had on the bench for a moment. But the tree synergies and the Fairy Godmother all work really, really well with Nutcracker. So that is something that we are definitely interested in picking up next turn, is a Nutcracker, because that'll just go nuts with all of these Peep tokens. But you can see these Peep tokens, even just by themselves, are pretty big, but Godmother getting up to 33 health at this stage of the game is also quite fantastic. And let's make it even bigger. Let's pick up another Princess Peep and get a little bit more wild with it. And from here, I'm really looking for Nutcracker. I'm not super interested in any of these other options, but I'll wind up just picking up a Golden Chicken and then Burning Palm onto the Good Mother for now. Again, same thing. It's got plenty of health, so a little bit more attack, a tick onto Cindy. Both of those things seem good. Next turn, we are 1 in 3 to just get a free Lancelot. That will be, we've got the option to get Bearstain, Lancelot, and I knew I wasn't gonna, Robin Hood. So 1 in 3 to grab one of those 3 units, I believe. And then I believe there are now 4 good units that we could potentially get. The reason that I bring up Lancelot is that Lancelot with Princess Peep and Fairy Godmother is super, super easy to complete the treasure of. Yeah, you just see the Fairy Godmother getting up to 33 health in this combat, and that will allow us to easily grab a Lancelot treasure if we can find it. I'm gonna go for a healing potion before we pick up the Princess Peep in case we find treasure map, and we actually do. So now we really, really want Lancelot. We got Robin Hood instead, but we are going to find a Lancelot here too. So now we should be able to grab a tier 7 treasure on what is technically 4.2. And I'm feeling pretty good about our chances in this game. I'll fire off a fireball to end the turn, and kind of weird board positioning, but if our Princess Peeps can die, then we are like guaranteed to get that Lancelot treasure. The other way is if our entire front row dies, then we just get the Lancelot treasure from that as well. So we need, what is it? 6? No, not 6. 5? No, 4. 4 things to die. Yeah, we only need 4 things to die. Sorry, I knew that because I knew we needed our whole front row to die. So if our whole front row dies here, then we will get that Lancelot treasure. Unfortunately, we are actually just too strong. Our Princess Peep isn't even going to die, and we hit Peter Pants for 14 damage. So a little bit unlucky that we were too strong for the current turn, but I don't think that it's going to repeat itself that easily. We can also take the Nutcracker here if we want to try to grab a treasure from that. And then we also have Princess Peep, which we can just like frontline and just say, okay, we're gonna try to do it that way. And I think that both of those are kind of interesting options. I'm gonna wind up picking up another Robin Hood, supporting that a little bit. It's honestly pretty tough to get everything in a good ordering here, but I think that we make it work. And I'm just rolling past all of these treasures because I want a tier 7 treasure at this point with the Lancelot. I think that we should do it again. We just need 4 things to die. So I'm putting Princess Peep in the front line this time. in the hopes that it will just die and that we won't have to worry about like getting unlucky. Now, if Fairy Godmother got sniped, that would be a little bit awkward for us, but that is not going to be the case. We are going to grab that tier 7 treasure with Lancelot, 35 health, and going into 6.0, picking up a Holy Grail feels pretty good. So this is clearly a Holy Grail pickup here. Not really much consideration for Excalibur. And then we can become level 6 right now. Well, no reason not to. We're not doing anything else with our turn. Let's D-end. That's going to give us a little bit more health. That's going to give us a free tier 6 unit. And then from here, I'm just going to start rolling because we are already level 6. And basically the way that this works with the Holy Grail is I want to sell off all of this stuff on my bench so that way I can have a more efficient Holy Grail turn. So I'm just going to wind up slowly doing that. Goodbye, Princess Peep. Goodbye, Fairy Godmother. Unfortunately, we don't find any more trees, but I do believe that that is probably the plan. Maybe we could make a good boy strategy work, but we already have a decent amount of trees, and we're about to Holy Grail. And it's just so clean to just pick up as many trees as possible and try to win the game in that capacity. We are going to get some extra gold for my opponent's prize pig, as well as take that opponent out of the lobby, and now we are just searching for trees. There was a good boy that we could have picked up, but I am not going to pay it any attention. I'll pick up a Gloves of Thieving by tripling up the Heartwood Elders, and now I'm laser focused on the trees. Finding the new Burning Beard art, we also pick up a Green Knight and cast a lucky coin. Don't know why, but you know, it doesn't hurt to do it. Then we triple the Green Knight. That's going to give us a tier 6 treasure. I'm going to go for a Pandora's Box. Could have gone for Phoenix Feather, but Pandora's Box is really, really good with tree comps as well. There's just a lot of treasures that work out really nicely with the tree composition. From there, I'll take an Ambrosia, drop the Ring of Rage, even though we already have a fully upgraded backline now that we cast this Knighthood on Echowood. I'll wind up picking up a Green Knight just because, and then we are rocking with this. Now, that wasn't the best Holy Grail turn, but we did get a Pandora's Box, we did get an upgraded Echowood, and we're probably going to grab a treasure from Hercules this turn as well. Additionally, we do have the Ambrosia, but I think that's on its way out here for this Hercules treasure, and we get Round Table from our Pandora's Box. So we are definitely firmly into trees. This is looking really good, and from here, I think Phoenix Feather is probably just the pickup. We could go for the Wand of Weirding. There's a Pigomorph in the shop, but we're playing up against the Ghost and we're like wrecking this lobby. I don't care about what happened last combat. That's fine. We're doing fine. And Round Table is just going to continue to be really good. Now we really want either an Echowood or in Ashwood Elm, but of course more Burning Trees is also just going to be great as well. And yeah, I think that this is definitely a really reasonable board for us. So once you have Round Table, Echowoods buff each other. And I know I've talked about this before, but it's worth repeating that when you get Round Table, that's the only time that Echowoods ever really buff each other. I mean, they kind of do with like, if one attacks with a spear, the other gets the Spear of Achilles buff as well, but it's never as big of a bonus as it really makes for itself with the Round Table Echowood, because they're both getting different Round Table bonuses and then they share that with each other. And you do need an Ashwood Elm to get some of that off the ground as well. This is a large Ashwood Elm for just picking it up this turn. I'm not going to worry about the Green Knight. I really just want more Echowoods, Ashwoods, Burning Trees at this point in the game, and that is really all that we need. And I think we basically have everything that we need for the most part at this point. I think that we are doing pretty good. Let's jump ahead. See if we can give Mad Catter the business now that we have leveled up a few more trees and gotten a little bit stronger. They are going to Pigomorph and take out 2 of our trees, but we have a massive Echowood up in the thousands waiting for my opponent in that back line, which, by the way, it's also Phoenix Feathered. Not that I am ever using the Phoenix Feather in this game at this point, just because my units are way too big. So we hit Mad Catter for 9, also stealing a copy of their upgraded monster book. Not going to do anything with that, but it's basically just a spinning gold at this point in the game. I will shard my Hercules to try to find a tree. We are unsuccessful, so we're going to have to find some trees the old-fashioned way, just rolling through these shops, and eventually we are going to find another Echo Wood. So that's really great. I'll sell off 2 of my units, or 3 of my units rather, and just debating which ones I want to sell off, but doesn't really matter. I'm not using any of them at this point in the game, and that will allow us to play this Echo Wood. And now the Echo Woods don't pump each other just from the Echo Wood part of it, but when they round table themselves, they will pump each other. And you'll see that my Echo Wood that previously had 2,000 health now has, or I'm sorry, that previously had 1,000 health. I undersold it, or oversold it. Previously had 1,000, and in that combat had 1,500. So it increased its health by 50%, which is great for just picking up 1 unit to get that 50% increase. So that's really good. I am considering fogging on my opponent there because they have a bunch of spellweavers, but you know what? I'm kind of killing it. I feel like I should just build my board better, not worry about what my opponent is doing, because we are so much ahead of my opponent at this point in the game. And honestly, they kind of agree with me on this sentiment. They realize that we are just way, way too far ahead of them, and they are going to wind up conceding because of that. And unfortunate that we did not get to play it out any further, but, well, writing was on the wall. We just had all Ds at this point. And yeah, definitely a lot of that was just making use of some different good synergies throughout the game. We didn't really get super lucky, I want to say, and by that I mean unlucky. It's not that we got the, well, okay, so we got lucky and we got unlucky. Part of the reason I wanted to showcase this game, though, is because, well, we did get Princess Peep off of the first Snow Angel trigger when we hit level 3, and we were very prepared for it. When we hit level 4, we didn't actually get Fairy Godmother, right? We got something else. And I don't even, oh, we got a Heartwood Elder. Okay, so we wound up playing a little bit more into the trees, but then we picked up the Fairy Godmothers. And part of the reason I wanted to showcase this game is because I think it's a very good example for what you should do if Snow Angel gives you Fairy Godmother and then you see another Fairy Godmother in the shop. In this case, we just happened to purchase 2 of them, but I think the point still kind of remains. And then we got unlucky to not get the Lancelot in the level 5 shop, but we were very, very well set up for it in that we were able to then just roll for it a few times and activate it pretty easily after that. And that led to all of this. So that is going to be it for me today. Thank you guys very much for watching. I'm No Lux Given. Peace. This week's giveaway word is royal. Each week I use a new code word. That's just to distinguish who's commenting for which week. And the reason I have you guys say a code word, that way I can tell who is interested in the dust and who's just commenting to say hi or that they enjoyed the video, stuff like that. You can definitely do both. Just make sure you include this week's code word. You can also enter as many times as you want per week, once per video. You can go back, leave comments on old videos, just make sure they include this week's word, but there's no limit to how many times you can enter, other than, I guess, the amount of videos that I have. And I've been putting out a bunch of Storybook Brawl videos since last October, so yeah, there are a bunch of opportunities to enter to win. You can go through the backlog and watch some of those, but it's been really fun to receive the comments from you guys, get that level of interaction. You can also come join me on my Discord, which I'm trying to grow right now, just so that I have, one, feedback on my titles and thumbnails and things like that, but I also have some fun ideas for special game modes that I could make work with lobbies of players in the future. So feel free to check that out as well. There is a link to that in the video description, and help me climb on my way to 1,000 subscribers. I'm getting there slowly but surely, and thank you guys all very much for your support.